Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the Mattel Batman Unlimited Batman from the cartoon Beware the Batman. One of the last, I believe this is one of the last lines we are getting from the Batman Unlimited figure release lineup. On the side, there is a picture of Batman from Beware the Batman, and actually a really good cartoon. Truth be told, even though I didn't like the CG of the Green Lantern cartoon, it somehow seems to be working for me for the Batman series, and I'm really happy with the direction that they're going with it. I just hope we get more of the more known Batman villains, to say the least. But on the back, it says real name Bruce Wayne, occupation CEO crime fighter, location Gotham City, powers, abilities, and skills, master detective, vast arsenal of weapons and gadgets, as seen in or on the animated series Beware the Batman. Also available, you can pick up Vampire Batman, which Spot will be reviewing as well. Witnessing the death of his parents changed young Bruce Wayne forever. It hardwired him into the ability to see crime everywhere, which gave rise to his alter ego Batman. Bruce Wayne and Batman are two different people in the same body. One walks in the light, the other in the shadow, armed with high-tech weaponry, deductive brilliance, and a mastery of over 1,000 disciplines of martial arts. Batman seeks to avenge the injustice Bruce Wayne sees every day. Together they keep Gotham City safe. One of the nicer read-ups I've seen of Batman, as I like that they play up the idea that he's really two characters, two different personalities, within one body. Spot was unable to find these, unfortunately, retail, as normally is the case here in Canada. So Spot actually ended up getting these up on Big Bad Toy Store. I'm going to provide the link down below. And also, if you're hearing any noise in the background, there's neighbors outside that are being a little rowdy. Where's Batman when we need him? Needless to say, what I am going to do is take a bit of a break. I'm going to get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Beware the Batman figure. There's definitely more to come. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. So, having a look at Batman, unfortunately, he's omitting any sort of display base. He has no accessories, nothing to speak of, so really, essentially, what you're getting with this particular Batman figure is what you're looking at right at this minute. I don't know why Mattel has really scaled back on what we're getting for accessories or anything with the releases of their figures. If anything, they could have thrown us a bone with a display base that had said Beware the Batman, something. But unfortunately, we don't get anything with this Batman. We get very bare bones, indeed, when it comes to this figure. The figure itself as a whole, it works. It has the potential for what I could be thinking as a fun figure, but unfortunately there's just aspects to it that aren't as good as what they potentially could have been. I guess for starters, let's have a look at his face. Now, unfortunately, his face, as interesting as it is, I like the design of the face itself of Batman. My particular Batman, however, you can see is glaring with paint issues. Paint where you can see should have really stopped at the end of the cowl, the mouthpiece of the cowl. You can see extends further out, going into the flesh of the face. Also more noticeably, you can probably see the big point of paint coming down from Batman's nose into his face. I thought initially that, okay, from a distance, I thought, oh, that's where the point ends, that works. But unfortunately, no, closer inspection, you can see where that paint should have ended and where it then ultimately ends. On the other side of Batman's face is a little harder, a little rougher. At least this side, it's scaled further back here. On the other side, though, it's a bit disastrous. The eyes are there, and the eyes work, and the ears are a little more rounded than my liking, but I can understand that perhaps because it's going to be a child's toy, that the ears are going to be not as predominantly pointed as they could be. The body as a whole is good. I like the look and design of the body, as I really like the design of Batman in the cartoon anyways, and I think the figure works to convey the idea of that figure, of the character. However, it seems as if that instead of giving us really interesting if you watch Beware the Batman, Batman of course has a darker costume, but being the lighting as it is, it kind of changes. There's certain gradients of light on the actual suit itself. None of that is really conveyed in this figure. Essentially what you're getting is you're almost getting the exact same color, though it might be slightly different from itself. But you're getting the exact same color from the cowl and cape that you are with the upper torso. I mean, it's a nice color. This color works, if anything. Maybe they could have made the cape and cowl just a slight bit darker, that there would have been more of a contrast. I like the logo of the Batman, the bat emblem on his chest. And the utility belt also works really well, as it's a very different interpretation of the utility belt. Though it doesn't seem like it's as sloppy as I first thought when I got it out of the package. It does still look slightly messy. I don't know what it is. It looks unfinished. Perhaps if they had put a wash or something in there. I know Mattel's not one for putting washes on figures as a whole. They just kind of keep a singular color on the figure's bodies. He is very lanky. His arms and legs are very long, sleek, and slender, with the very broad upper torso, and it works, being that that's how he is in the cartoon. His cape is nice. I like how it flows out. It starts really at a peak where his cowl begins, and then it fans out. It's not something that's going to hinder the figure. It's there, and I like it that it's not occupying a fair bit of space on the back of the figure itself. There is a line, though. There's a definitive line right here where I don't know if they're reusing this cape or if just perhaps that's the way it's been designed, but you can see that there's a line going right across there. The undersoles of his feet even have some tread texture going on there as well. So, I mean, the figure works, but I almost feel as if this figure either should have been one of two things. It should have either been the Beware the Batman standalone series, which I would have probably followed having picked up the Batman series figures. Because, I mean, I want to see, figure interpretations of these characters from the cartoon. Or had they done that as we are looking at right now with this particular 6-inch Batman, because it's an unlimited line, I wish they could have done a little more to the suits. Just given it slightly different variations of coloring to kind of just break up that it's not just all this one color. I don't know also what's going on with his arms, but there's areas where it's slick. There's smoothness, especially you can see to the upper torso here. It's smooth and slick, almost like it's got an oil to it, an oil finish. But then the arms, there's areas to it that are just these big patches of matted color. And it's almost as if, like even in the shoulder has a section where it's this smooth, kind of darker color, and then it just gives you there's this patch of matte coloring. Perhaps this could have been an outlet that they could have gone with for the overall scheme of the Batman suit, so that the upper cowl would have been the glosser finish, and the whole rest of the suit could have been this more matte color. It's a similar enough color, but because it's presented two different ways, this might have stood out a little bit more against the cowl. In the way of his articulation, Batman's head is on a ball joint, so it moves up and down, left and right. And surprisingly, the head still gets a good bend in the neck area. Normally, as Batman figures go, this section right here hinders any sort of movement of the head up, but you can see it moves very easily. When it gets to these shoulders are on a hinge and socket, so they rotate out to about there. You probably could get a slightly bit higher, but the arm also rotates forward and back, bends at the elbow, which I thought really was the end of it, but it does actually rotate as well. The hand rotates in the wrist. The upper torso swivels at the waist. There is no crunch or anything in the torso itself, but it does swivel in the waist. And then the legs go forward, back, out. A bend at the knee, no swivel in the thigh, but you can see it swivels in the knee, and then a hinge swivel in the foot as well. So it lends itself to the fact that even though it looks more of a basic Batman than what we would have gotten with other DC Universe figures, it surprisingly has all the same articulation, less the crunch in the upper torso, to what we would get with a normal DC Universe figure, and I guess a swivel in the the thigh to some extent as well. This figure would have excelled by having a display base. It would have certainly excelled by having some accessories, as his hand is open and looks as if it could have had something, but unfortunately nothing was included. I'm of a mixed bag for this particular figure because I think the figure works, but it could have been better. If it was going to be a 6-inch figure, then they really should have given more love to the figure itself. If not, I would have liked to have seen a smaller scale figure, perhaps a 4 or 5-inch scale, but I would have liked to see a whole line of Beware the Batman figures. And Alfred, all the different villains that we've gotten so far. I would have loved to see interpretations of those in the smaller scale. That may or may not happen. If it certainly doesn't happen, this potentially may be the only figure that we get of Beware the Batman. So for that reason, I would say it's a pickup. However, though, on a figure-wise, I'm probably only going to give the figure a 7.5. It's good, but I feel it could have been a little bit better. And accessories, certainly Mattel. You could have thrown us at least some accessories, if anything. Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the Mattel Batman Unlimited line of figures. We're looking today at Batman from Beware the Batman. Thank you guys for watching. Certainly stick around. Spot's got more Toy Spots heading your way. I'll see you guys next time.